Sir, I request you to please start the session, sir. Now recording is on, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good morning and welcome you all. I, Dr. Pradeep Kumar Tiwari, subject expert of understanding PC and troubleshooting. Today, our first lecture and last lecture was the 0th lecture where we have discussed about the syllabus. And today we will discuss the first topic, and we can also say first unit of your subject understanding PC and troubleshooting. The topic is CPU. The electronic circuitry that execute instruction in a computer program is known as a central processing unit, CPU. It can perform the operation like arithmetic, logic, and also it can control the input and output task. These are things managed by the CPU. So, what are the learning objective? The learning objective of our this topic is determine the CPU most important features, learn about the several principles of modern CPU, classify and describe the Intel CPU in detail, explain the concept of CPU overclocking, perform overclocking on the various processors. These things today we will going to discuss. The first, what is the CPU essentials? So typically the buses, the most popular method of data sharing, and data is transferred across the all devices connected to it. Buses are also known as processor signals. So the first question arises our mind ki how the CPU interact with the different devices. That time here we can hear the interaction of the CPU via the buses. Buses can transfer the signal from all devices. We can also say the buses, CPU uses the buses to transfer the signals. In here, CPU have a three classification categories. How it can transfer? So we have a three major categories. The first one is the data buses, second one is the address buses, and third one is a control buses. So in the next slide we will discuss about the one by one. First we will discuss the data buses, then we will discuss the address bus, then we will discuss the control bus. So first we are going to discuss the data bus. There are three major categories. In the first is one is the data buses. What are the data buses? Data buses perform and transfer the information the CPU. It is handled by the buses, and how we can already we have discussed how the transfer the information CPU. The transfer is sharing the information by the buses. Okay, it it serves as a benchmark for CPU performance, because if they are transferring the data, they are performing at a transport service. If we have a transport service faster, it means we will get the better result. Same here, if we want a CPU performance good, that time buses should be able to send the messages from one CPU to the devices. The data buses is used to transfer information from CPU to RAM, ROM, input unit, as well as between timing and control buses informations. So buses can transfer the information RAM, random access memory, read-only memory, input-output devices like a monitor, like a printer, etc. And it can also manage the time. What is the meaning of time and control? Timing, because we are manage the CPU in a MIPS, and also here buses, if we are CPU sending the message, that time the main role of the MIPS, million instructions per second. These million instructions per second, how we can find? We can find by the, because we have heard about the CPU is a gigahertz and megahertz, that this is the power, and when how many and it is depend on the clock, how many clocks are working in a particular amount of time, and in a per certain amount of time how many instructions are executed. These instructions are executed, these mapped by the MIPS, million instructions per seconds. Okay, and the forecast is made the specific period of time would be sufficient to take the decision and put into actions. It takes how many times is going, and you have seen during the when we are copying the some things, if the size is 1 GB or a 2 GB, that time we are seeing the how many times is going. This is the forecast time ki how many times CPU will take to copy from one pen drive to the another pen drive or a pen drive to the CPU. Same here, if we are working any task, that time it takes the calculate the time and forecast it ki how many time is going to calculate. You have also seen if we have inserted one pen drive, that time it is showing only the 1 minutes or 1.5 minutes. Maybe we are assuming this is the time of copying 1 GB data from pen drive to the CPU, pen drive to the hard disk. If we are going to pin another pen drive and we are copying started from the second pen drive to the hard disk, that time we will see the first time time was the 1.3 minutes. It exceed into the 1.7 1.8 because currently we are using the 2 pen drive for copying a hard disk, so the forecast time will be increased. Okay, and also it takes the historical information data ki how many times will we have taken to particular perform the task, to now this time will take by the CPU. So buses are playing the vital role, key roles to sending the information from CPU to the other devices. If the buses are faster, that time we will get the better results. Why we will get the better results? Because maybe I am giving the analogy. Suppose that I am speaking in a very faster manner, and you are all not able to hear it in a properly. In this faster manner, that time it is good. No. Same here, if the CPU is faster but transporter is not good, that time what will happen? So here the main role of the buses, if the CPU working faster manner, that time they can also send the information to the devices in a faster manner. The next one is address buses. What are the role of address buses? Address buses carry the specific address of that particular data rather than the actual data. It means address buses, what are the doing address buses? Address buses is going to take the information in a particular address. It's not means they can put the data in any place of the memory. So address buses carries the data from the specific address and a particular address, and they can measure the terms of address, line by address and buses. Here there are I am giving the examples. When you will learn the operating system, that time you will get there are some pages, and pages is counted by the lines, one line, and also if you are making the program, that time there are several lines. So how many address lines are working, and there are address line, they have a specific address positions. So buses can measure, and they can say address buses can measure, and then they can transfer the data, and they can also take the data. The CPU address buses line of 10 may be address up to 10 equal to 10 1024 bytes, for example. So here is an example, and I am giving the example. What is the address line of 10? If you are doing the 2 to the power 10, what you will get if you are doing the 2 to the power 10? 1024 bytes. How we can calculate? If any line here, the memory calculation is based on a power of 2. So when you are doing the any address space mapping, that time you will get the power of 2 calculations. I am giving here example. You always hear about the 2, 4, 8, 16, 16 bit, 8 bit, 32 bit, 64 bit, 128 bit, 258 bit, 516 bit, 1024 bit, and it also is calculated in a byte manner, GB manner and KB manner. So here we can see the always is calculation going to the power of 2. Okay, you never seen 9 bit, 11 bit, 13 bits of memory size. If you are going to purchase, that time the memory slots always be the 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512 and 1024. So here we can calculate is And a prefix commonly used the designate address of line. Suppose that we have a 10 address line, that time we can say A0, A1, A2, A3, and it's going to the A5, A6 and A numbers. So if we want to go address line 1, that time it will go for the A1. If we are going for the address line 5, that time it will go for the A5. Next one is a control buses. So what are the control buses and what are the role of the control buses? So timing and control buses is another name for the buses. It utilized to coordinate and control the CPU functions. So it can coordinate, it can control the CPU functions like arithmetic logical operations, and it can take the output and transfer it by using the address buses in a particular place. So, and the various signals are read, write, interrupt, acknowledge, parity checking, cache operation, power control management, all things done by the control buses. Okay, it is also a part of how to write, how to read, how the interruption is called during the working, because the CPU is a central processing unit. It can perform the task, and it can perform the task in a many manners like SJF, shortest job first, FCFS, first come first serve, round robin. There are some mechanisms to of a CPU that can working in a different processing. So here how to manage the read, how to manage the write operation, how it can manage the interrupt operations, these things are managed by the control buses. Here is a table. Here we can compare what are the role and responsibilities of these three major categories: data buses, address buses and control buses. So here in a figure we can see this is the buses transfer unit. This is the CPU. Here is the one part of bus transfer unit. Here is the arithmetic logic unit and timing and control unit. How these are things managed? So here you can see the address buses control the input and output operations, and control buses are connected, take the information from ROM and RAM. Here 1B, because always we are taking the information from ROM, read only memory. Here we can store the data permanently, so we can't submit the data or store data at that place. So here is a 1B arrow, and in a RAM we can take and we can also put. So here we can see the double sided arrow, and also in a input and output devices we can take and give the informations. So what is going this thing? Transmit the instruction to CPU from memory for execution is done by the data buses. Okay, here we can see that transmit the instruction from the CPU via the data buses. Here we can see this is the data buses, and here we can see this can transfer the information from CPU. Carries the data or operation. It can also carry the data for the operations. In address buses, transmit address and memory before any instructions or data can be written. So what are the doing by the address buses? They can transmit the address memory where we are going to the store the data. This is the main work of the address buses. And next one is the control buses. We have already understand read write operations, carry individual signals, coordination, control. These are things done by the control buses. So I think now it is clear what is the role of data buses, what is the role of address buses, and what is the role of control buses. In a one single line we can see the transmission of the data buses, identify of the information, address buses, and control the operation done by the control buses. Here what are the doing the CPU? Because we have a multiple CPU and multiple types of the CPU like single CPU, quad core processor CPU, and hexa core CPU. There are a multiple central processing unit, and they have a different type of a working categorization. So here, what we are doing? What are the modern CPU concept? How they are different from the older one? So here we can see the central processing unit control the unit, regulate and integrate the computer's operations. CPU can manage, and CPU can manage the different operations, memory management, process management. These are work operating system will handle by the CPU, because the main key role of these things is the operating system. Operating system manage the hardware and CPU is a hardware. If they have a function, so operating system can perform now operation. Only software cannot do nothing if the hardware do not have a capability to doing something. Okay, so here are some main features of the CISC and RISC CPU. Second one is a circuit size and die size CPU, processor speed, processor cooling, system clocks, architecture performance and features. These are things are enabled in a modern CPU. So here this part is divided. What are the role of CISC and RISC? CPU size, circuit size and die size, processor speed, and why we need the processor cooling, what is the meaning of system clocks, and what are the architecture performance of the features. So we are going to discuss one by one these topics. So here first we are going to discuss the RISC and CISC. What is the meaning of RISC? RISC is the reduced instruction set of computer. How to reduce the instruction set of computer, and CISC stand for the complex instruction set of computers. So if anyone asks what is the meaning of RISC, that time you have to say redundant instruction set computers. In a CISC you have to say this is the complex instruction set of computer. The next question is, this is the full form, what they are working. So they are emphasized on software to optimize the instruction set. When we want to do of the optimization work, that time we need the RISC. What is the meaning of optimization? Making the performance better, utilization of a CPU in a better manner, it is the optimization. And here the CISC, complex hardware to optimize. So here in a RISC we are talking about the optimization of instruction set of the software, and in a CISC we are talking about the hardware. The second different is optimization of the hardware, CISC optimization of a software by the software, this is the RISC. It is the hardware unit programming in RISC processor. It is a programming which is in a processor, and this is the micro programming. And also it required the multiple register set to store the instructions. Here we are required the multiple registers to store the instruction. Here required the single register. Single register, what are the work of the single register? Like a yes, no, on, off, this type of work performed by the single registers. And RISC can be simple, decoding the instructions. It is the complex to decoding the instructions. Pipeline are simple in RISC, and pipeline are difficult to. What is the meaning of pipeline here? Here we want, when we want to transfer the information from one device to another, that time we have a pipeline. It means the buses are using the lines to sending the transfers. It's sending the transfer the information. And uses the limited number of instructions that require the less time to execute the instructions. So it is taking the less time. Here large instructions, and also it is using the single bit register, so it takes the more times. And the example of RISC is ARM, RP RISC, Power Architecture, Alpha AVR, ARC and SPARC. So you have heard about the SPARC system. So these are Power Architecture managed by the RISC. And the Motorola 68000 family system 360 AMD and Intel 86 CPU is the example of the CISC. So if anyone asking what are the difference between, what are the example of a CISC and RISC, that time you can say the Motorola family, AMD and Intel are using the CISC for the managing the complex instructions, and it is the hardware. So here you are seeing the what is the AMD is a hardware, Intel CPU is a hardware. So here we are talking about the how to manage the power architecture. So we are managing by the software. Okay, so here we are talking about the software things. After risk and risk, there are another important topic is circuit size and die size. What is the circuit size? What is the meaning of circuit size? Scaling the processor model or drawing a miniature of the processor is equivalent to the circuit size. So what is the meaning of a processor model? Where if we are using the any processor model or a drawing structure, तो उसका जो when we are using this time the circuit size will be the equivalent to the processor, and more transistors which are smaller are necessary to produce the powerful processors. So here the smaller transistors can, nowadays we are using the powerful transistors to produce the powerful processors, and it can reduce the size of circuit and we will get the powerful systems. And here we are using the how we are reducing the size. The size we can map by the micron. Okay, so here is the why what micron size we are using. Recently we are using the 1 to 1.8 micron. So it is the circuit size. And you have already heard in the fundamental of computers now, first generation computer system is using the what using? They are using the bulb. Vacuum, this is called the vacuum tube. Then it can include, at that time we are using integrated circuits. Nowadays we are using the artificial intelligence. So IC is an integrated circuit is the most powerful make to the systems rather than vacuum tubes and other things. Next one is a die size. What is the meaning of die size? Die size is a physical surface. Die size is a physical surface and it can also be the area of a chip. So if we are going to make any circuit, that time we are making to the where the circuits we are putting, this is the called the die size. Okay, and this is measured by the square. This is measured by the square millimeters. Okay, and the wafers constructed the silicon. Wafers constructed the silicon referred as the silicon wafers, and this wafers is called the die size. This is belong to the die size. This is the smaller. If the smaller size of the wafer, closer that the components arrange with the increase the performance. If the smaller, that time we will put the things in near, so it will be managed easily. If we are taking the die size greater, that time they can take the larger size and they cannot perform the better. Smaller size will also help to the more chips in a single wafer and reduce the manufacturing cost. So we have already discussed what is the role of the die size, and it is reduced. And if we are using the smaller die size and we can manage things in a smaller time, that time power consumption is also reduced. Now the most things which we have discussed, processor speed and processor cooling. So what is the meaning of the processor speed? Why the processor speed should be higher? So here I am going to give one analogy. What is the role of the processor speed and why we need the processor speed higher? If suppose that if we are running in a track, if we will walking in a 4 km per hour, that time we will cover only the 4 kilometers. If we will walking in a 8 km per hour, that time we will cover the 8 kilometer space track. If we are walking in a 16 km per hour, that time we are walking, we can walk in a 16 kilometers. What is why I am giving the analogy? It means when we are running faster, that time we will cover the most of the area of track. Here same here, if the processor speed is higher, that time it can calculate the many things in a particular amount of time. What is the particular amount of time? Million instructions per seconds. How many we can map the speed of a system in a million instructions per second? How many millions instructions per second CPU can execute? It's also depend on the CPU gigahertz, and we can map the CPU gigahertz in megahertz. Okay, so if the CPU process speed is higher, that time it can calculate the multiple instructions in a particular amount of time. Like if we are driving the car, if we are riding the bike, if we are taking the more accelerator, that time we will cover the more highway in a certain amount of time. Here, if the CPU is a more faster, that time it can calculate the multiple instructions in a runtime. Here, suppose that this is the CPU and it depends on the clock size. If it is working in this manner, so it will can only cover this part of the, and it can take only 100 or 200 million instructions. 100 instructions, 200 instructions, 1000 instructions maybe. If it is running faster, that time it can take the multiple instructions. So CPU should be the speed higher. And another one is a processor's data refers to the processor speed. What is the, if we have the processor speed, that time it can process the multiple data. Ability to run application is dependent on the processor speed, which measured in a megahertz, gigahertz. So also application, how many how it work perform and how it is going. What is the meaning of server down? Server, we are already heard about server down. It means the processor is not running in a proper speed. That time it is not able to handle the multiple users and all these things. So what is the desirable? We have desirable the faster processor. So when the processor is running in this faster manner, that time it generates the heat. If it generates the heat, and you have seen in a laptop, in a CPU, there are multiple devices. If the CPU will generate the heat, that time this heat can affect the devices like RAM, ROM, motherboards, and all these things can affected by the heat. So what we have to do, that time the CPU, you have seen the CPU, when you are seeing the desktop computer, then in a desktop computer we have a one box. Okay, and this box we are saying the CPU. No, this box is not a CPU. This box is a cabinet. In a cabinet we have a one component CPU, RAM, ROM, buses and motherboards. But the CPU is a powerful, so we are calling this cabinet as a CPU. Okay, please take the CPU. No, they are a CPU, and you have seen in a CPU background there is a fan, and it fans running when we are using the systems. In a laptop, if you are left hand side or right hand side, it depends on the manufacturers. If you can take your hand in a side of the laptop base, that time you can see, you can feel here is a fan, and it can transferring the air from inside to the outside. What is the need of why we are doing these things? Why the CPU is doing these things? Because this heat can transfer from the internal to external. It will put in a live in a inside of the CPU, in a inside of the laptop cabinet. That time it can generate the heat, and this heat can damage the other part of the system. System is RAM, ROM, and buses, motherboards. So any device, because we are using the small parts, they can damage by the heat. So it maintain the computer temperature limits. First, it can contain the temperature limits. Computer is cooling essential to remove waste heat created by the computer component, because it generated the heat and it can damage the system. So integrated service including the CPU, chipset, graphics card, hard drives are prone temporary malfunction or permanent failure if overheated generate, which we have discussed before, the 30 to 40 seconds. Why? Because these integrated circuits, CPU and any device can damage by the overheated. So what are the cooling, what the fan is doing? It can remove the heat, and it can help to the system cool. It means here is not a need ki sir why we are not putting the AC. No, the system is not need in AC inside the system, because they can work if you are reading nowadays laptop configuration. That time here they have mentions ki this laptop is working in -5 to the 40-degree temperatures, because it is also internal, and also the CPU can damage by the external heat na. So if the external heat is a more than 40 to 45 per degree, that time we also need the AC from the cooling the system. And these ACs are called the precious ACs, not like our home PCs. They can generate the humidity, but the precious ACs cannot generate. They are generate the dry cooling. Next topic, an important topic, we have seen the system clock, and here we have already seen what is the system clock. And if we are going to the system shutdown, and when we are open your system, that time you are going, your clock is working properly. Your clock is working properly. How is this clock is working properly, we will discuss here. So here is a PC driven by the system clock. PC driven by the system clock. You have seen, if your clock is not working and you want to go, the main example, if you are going to open the Gmail, and if you are suppose today we have a 19 December at 10:30, and if your system's clock is showing 18 December 11:30 or else any times, that time if you want to open the Gmail, that time it will show your system clock is not working, because that time it matching your clock with his own clock. If you are not agree with me, please change your time of your system and you will see this type of errors. So PC's work is driven by the system clock, and also you have seen how many works are taken by the particular processor. But we are writing a B, C, D like work and small calculations. So here we cannot see if you are working in a hard manner. If you are using the millions and trillions times of calculation, that time the system clocks will active and it will show the time. How much time will take by the CPU. And the next one is a cycle. What is the cycle? When I was explaining this, CPU running and the it can take the instructions in a particular amount of time. So when it's complete one round, that time this is called the cycles. And cycle map by the shortest unit of the time is the processing take the place. How the process take the place, and this process take the place in a MIPS, million instructions per seconds. It's like we are saying the car and bike have 100 cc or 1000 cc, but when we are running in a 80 or 100 kilometer, that time we are showing we will cover 80 kilometer per hour in a engine of 100 cc. Same here, if we are talking about 1.2 gigahertz or a megahertz, that time it can calculate MIPS, million instructions per seconds. Now I think it is easy to understand. How it is used to only system clock to drive the processor. In previous PC, the speed of memory buses and motherboard is referred as the system clock. So buses speeds, I already told you, motherboard working is also depend on the work mechanism. So it's also take the CPU. If the clock is calculate the time, CPU is sending time, motherboard working time and CPU time all are calculated by the system clock. Next one is architectural performance features. What are the architectural performance features? So in a modern computer, performance is often described in instructions per cycles. How many instructions per cycles it is calculated? So MIPS, instructions per cycle, means MIPS, million instructions per seconds. A faster IPC rate, it means computer is faster. We have already discussed previous slides, and they are measure the computer speed by the clock rate. And what is the clock rate? Megahertz and gigahertz, but it's mapped by the MIPS, like 100 cc bikes we are running in 100 km per hour. Okay, and if we have a 350 cc, that time it means it we can go faster rather than the 100 cc, maybe 120 150 kilometers per hour. So gigahertz megahertz is showing the clock. If the clock speed is higher, that time we can system can perform the multiple task in a certain amount of time. And sometimes this is called the, sometimes and always it is called the throughput. What is the meaning of throughput? In a certain amount of time, how many instructions are executed. Okay, a machine with higher clock rate may be necessary have a better performance. If a result manufacturer have moved away, the clock speed is measure of the performance. The clock speed measure of the performance. How the performance we are calculating in a MIPS. And the second things, here we are going to discuss the different type of processors. So here we have taken the 2 to 3 processors to understand what are the processor and what are the working mechanism, and how we can differentiate processors. If we are buying two system, if we want to know the system performance, that time we have to should know about the processors. So what are the processors? Here we are discussing the Here we are discussing the two type of processor, 8086 and 8088. So here we are using the 16-bit data buses, and here in a 8088 we are using the 8-bit. What is the meaning of 16-bit and 8-bit buses? We already discussed when we are started this topic. If we have a buses, address buses, data buses. First is the data buses. So what is the data buses role? It can transfer the information from one place to the another place within the systems. If we have a 16-bit, it means we have a more lines. It means we can transfer the 16-bit data at once go. At a once go 16-bit data we can transfer from one device to the another device, and here we can transfer the data 8-bit. So we can understand 8088 is a more faster rather than the 8088 because of its bits speed, because of it transferring, it's transferring speeds. And here the clock speed is the 5 megahertz, 8 megahertz, and 10 megahertz. In a different type of a model have a different type of a clock speed. 80862 using the 5 and 8, and 80861 using the 10 megahertz. And here is also the 3 clock speed, 5 and 8. So we can here see it can also have a 10 megahertz, and we have seen if we have a more megahertz, more clock cycles in a certain amounts of the time, it means we can say it is the more faster rather than the other systems. It using the memory control pin, it using the complicated memory control pin. It means its configuration, its architecture is a more complicated rather than the 8086. It can read and write either 8-bit or a 16-bit word at the same time because it has a 16-bit, and it can only read the 8-bit. Why? Because it has the data buses of the 8-bit. It has a 6-bit instructions queue. It has a 4-byte to 1-byte instructions queue. Here is a 6-byte and here is a 4-byte to 1-byte. So here also it is a faster queue. What is the queue? If we are using a single CPU, that time if there are a multiple process, that time CPU can run only the one program, that time the other program will be in a queue. So how many programs can go? There are, if they have a 6-bit instruction, that time it can be in a queue, and it draws the maximum It draws the maximum supply current 16 MA and it is a megahertz, and it is the current 334. And nowadays we are heard about the only two types of the processor in the markets, Intel and AMD. Nowadays we are getting the AMD is also selling the processors, and people are nowadays interested in buying to the AMD. So if you have a choice to purchase which system we have to purchase, Intel based or AMD based processor. So here is a basic difference between the Intel and AMD. So here we have only 2 cores and AMD have a 4 cores. So here AMD is a more performance rather than the Intel. And what is the course? Course is a management. If there are some processors, so processor working mechanism managed by the cores. Here is the threads, 4 threads. Here is the 8 threads. What is the threads? Threads are small programs. These are runnings by the kernel, and kernel is a part of the CPU. So if we have here, we have only the 4 threads. Here we have 8 threads. It means it has the greater performance ability. And how the threads are working? Suppose that I am giving the examples. How the threads is a more important. When you are working in a MS Word, that time you have seen you can write. Suppose that A, B, C, D, and here you can see here is a blue line, here is a red line. Blue line shows there are some syntaxical, and red line shows there as a your word is not correct. So here you can see you are only performing the writing work. So one thread is you help to the writing, one threads are checking the syntax error, and one threads are checking the grammar error. So if we have a multiple thread, that time we can perform the multiple tasks, and threads are simple small programs. Here in a kernel we are using the fork, read, write, exit, and here is the base frequency is a 2.2. This here is a 2.1, 3.7, 3.5. It means AMD is working performance is better, but here the bus frequencies are equal. It means they can transfer the equal speed data. And here is a multiplexer. We have a 20x 21. Release date of the October 17, 2020. Here is a January 6, 2019. Type of laptop, it are enabled in a laptop, and instructions is x86, s86, and there is the code name Tiger Lake, and this is known as the Gen Plus. So next thing is what is the x86? x86 is a architecture model. What is the meaning of architecture model? It means if we want to perform the specific task, that time sometimes we need a specific architecture. Suppose that if you want to work in a image processing like work, that time you have to need the GPU rather than the CPU. If you are working in a numerical database, that time you have to need the normal Intel processors and normal AMD processor. If you are want to make your machine as a cloud machine, that time you have seen, if you want to check, you can check by the Google or some books. They are referring, if you want to make your system in a as a cloud system, that time when you can virtualize, if you want to virtualize your system, that time you have to use the x86 architecture. And here is a 64-bit instructions. 64 instructions on the 64-bit. 64 is better. Good systems, and nowadays we are using a 64-bit systems, and also the software. Nowadays our software also depend on the how much bit system you are using. So there are some software mentions, if you want to install 32-bit, that time you have to install this type of system. If you want to going to work on a 64-bit system, that time you have to install this. If you want to use, you can simply type Microsoft operating system for 32-bit and Microsoft system for 64-bit. You will get the different type of systems, and also there are multiple software. They are also dependent on the bit size. Last but not least, here we are going to discuss the CPU overclocking. What is the meaning of CPU overclocking? We have discussed the clocking, but here we are going to discuss the CPU overclocking. It means taking the performance, taking the more performance rather than the available performance. It means if the CPU is running slow, that time we can perform the CPU because we can increase the uh, performance clock running time. So we can increase the what we can increase the performance. So it is the common way of the overclocking to improve the system performance. That time how we can perform the system, so we have used the four components: CPU, motherboard, system memory and CPU cooling. If CPU working in a faster manner, that time it can generate the heat. That time we have to CPU cooling, it can also cool the CPU. And the second one is the motherboard is also capable to handle these things, take the instructions and it can perform. And system memory is also available. Suppose that we are increasing the clock size, it's running faster, that time it takes the instruction from the RAM. And RAM size is suppose that 218 or a 516 or 512. That time it can take the only limited size of the memory. I am giving the example of a real life. Suppose that in our MS team we have only I can teach, yeah, this system can perform or my system perform multiple tasks, and here I can teach 10,000 students in a one time. Yeah, if I want to see the student all 300 400 student in a single screen, but it is only able to show the 40 or 50 student in a single screen. That time what will happen? I am able to perform, I want to see, and CPU also CPU have also capability to show this. And but software, because of the software is not performed, that time what can we see? No, we can not see. And also I am giving the example. Suppose that I am taking the class in a offline mode, suppose, and in a room we have a only sitting capacity of 20 students, but I have a voice I can teach 160 students. Can I teach in a 60 student at a time, particular time? Yes, I can teach, because I have a capability to teach 60 students at a time. But due to the space of a limited space, we can only sit only 20 students. That time what will happen? I will teach only the 20 students. So same here, if the CPU is working faster but we have a not a RAM size is good, that time how we can put the take data and take the data. So here it will be the problem. So we are using here the swapping mechanism. So system memory, motherboard and CPU is also responsible for overclocking requirement. What is the overclocking? We are taking the facility to using more. So what we have understand today? So in this topic we learn the various components of the CPU, three categories of the CPU, and we have also learned what is the CISC and what is the RISC, and we have also compared what is the processor working, why we need the processor cooling, what is the role of system clock, what is the process architectural difference. Intel processors, such that we have understand what is the role of 8088, 8086, Pentium Pro processors, how it is working, what is the meaning of Core 2 processors, AMD processors, CPU overclocking, what is the requirement of the overclocking. These all things we have discussed. So here within a minute I am going to review one by one. So today we have learned about the determine the CPU most important features in principle of modern CPU, describe the Intel CPU details, CPU overclockings, and what is the meaning of overclocking and how we can perform. So here we have understand the three features: data buses, address buses, control buses. In a data buses, we have understand CPU can transfer the data from one device to the another device. In a address buses, where we have to put the data and how we can get the data, and it can compare by the address line, and address line denoted by the A0, A1, A2, A3. Control buses control the various tasks, read write operations. And here we have seen the architecture of the address buses. In a modern CPU, we have the several features like a CISC and RISC, circuit size, die size, processor speed, processor cooling, system clocks, architectural performance features. And we have here understand CISC and RISC. In a RISC, we have reduced the instruction set computers, complex instruction sets. It depends on the hardware. RISC is depend on the software, and it can simple, it can complex. It is a totally CISC depend on the hardware, like a Intel CPU processor. But here we are working talking about the working mechanism, mechanism by the RISC. And we have also understood what is the circuit size, role of the circuit size, what is the die size. Die size is the size of the particular core where we can put the chips, and if the die size is small, that time we can also reduce the power consumptions. And here we have and understand the what is the processor speed, what is the role of the processor speed. If the processor speed is higher, that time we will find the greater performance, because it can execute multiple instructions at a particular certain amount of the time. If the CPU is working, that time there will be the heat generation. If the heat will generate, that time it can damage the IC, the CPU, chipset, graphics card, and anything. So we have to reduce this heat. So here we need to the cooling systems, and here is a fan in our system. It can remove the waste heats, and it can transfer from the system to the outside of the system. And here we have understand what is the system clock. We can see the system clock. CPU perform the task, and this task when it will complete, it is managed by the system. It will take care by the system clock how much time will be taken, and how the system clocks are working, how the system clock is running in a particular amount of time, we will learn in a next class. And architectural performance, here we have say instructions per cycles, and instructions per cycle work on the MIPS, and how we can calculate the MIPS by the megahertz and a gigahertz. So these are things, all things we have discussed in this. And here we have discussed the live processor, Intel AMD, and we have also discussed the two types of Intel processor, 8086 and 8088. And we have also discussed the overclocking of the system. There are 4 components to manage the overclocking. Why we are doing the overclocking? Because we want a greater efficiency of the systems. So students, we have discussed a lot of things in this topic, and I hope now you are able to understand the CPU working performance. Over to Abhishek, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful session, sir. With your kind permission, may we take 3-4 questions from our learners?
Okay, sir.
Sure. Now I request Mr. Hriday Goyal. Now you can unmute yourself and you can ask your query. Hriday, just you can unmute yourself and ask your query. Pramod Singh Chauhan, just you can unmute yourself and you can raise your query.
Sir, is my voice visible?
Yes, you are audible. You can ask.
Sir, I want to say only one thing, that sir, English is not understanding properly. So I want that sir, please speak in Hindi so that I can understand properly.
Okay. You want RISC and CISC in Hindi, na?
Yes, sir.
ओके बेटा, मैं आपको समझाता हूँ. नाउ आई एम ऑडिबल. मेरी हिंदी समझ में आ रही है आपको?
यस सर, बिल्कुल.
ओके. तो मैं आपको समझा दूं. देखो बेटा, है क्या हमारे सिस्टम में कि जब हमारा सिस्टम काम करता है, ठीक है ना, तो हमारे मॉडर्न सिस्टम में 2 तरह के हमें वो काम परफॉर्म करने पड़ते हैं. एक तो हमारा मेन हार्डवेयर हो गया, दूसरा हमारा हार्डवेयर कैसे वर्क करता है बेटा आप बताओ? सॉफ्टवेयर की मदद से.
यस सर.
है ना। तो अगर हमारे पास जो इंस्ट्रक्शन सेट्स है कंप्यूटर में, हम उन इंस्ट्रक्शन को किसी भी तरीके से रिड्यूस कर पाए, अगर हम उन इंस्ट्रक्शन सेट्स को रिड्यूस कर पाएंगे तो बेटा क्या होगा,
सर
हमारी स्पीड फास्टर हो जाएगी ना। सपोज करो कि अगर मेरे को 5 किलोमीटर चलना था और मेरे को 5 किलोमीटर चलना था और मैं उसको अगर 3 किलोमीटर में चल पाता हूँ, तब क्या होगा बेटा, अगर वही काम मैं 3 किलोमीटर में कर पाऊंगा जो 5 किलोमीटर में करना हो, तो क्या होगा बेटा,
हमारी स्पीड फास्ट हो जाएगी और टाइम कम लगेगा।
मतलब हमारी स्पीड तो वही रहेगी पर कम का टाइम पर हम काम कर पाएंगे ना
जी,
क्योंकि हम तो चल पा रहे। तो यही हमारा रिस्क करता है। लेकिन आप समझो कि हमारे पास आजकल जो सिस्टम्स आ रहे हैं ना, वो बहुत तेजी से, मतलब कहना चाहिए कि कॉम्प्लेक्स हमें काम करने पड़ रहे हैं। मशीन लर्निंग पे काम करना, डेटा साइंस पे काम करना है, हमारे पास एक साथ कई कई टास्क आते हैं, उन्हें मैनेज करना है। उन सबको मैनेज कैसे किया जाए आप बताओ। मदरबोर्ड भी है हमारे पास, कोई इंस्ट्रक्शंस आ रहा है, उस इंस्ट्रक्शंस को कैसे डिकोड करें। क्योंकि हमारे पास क्या होता है बेटा, जब ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम पढ़ोगे तो हमारे पास मल्टीपल टास्क एक साथ आ सकते हैं। आ सकते हैं बेटा कि नहीं आ सकते हैं?
बिल्कुल सर।
जैसे मैं सपोज करो अभी मैं आपको पढ़ा रहा हूँ और आपको मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ, अभी सपोज करो कि मेरे पास 400 स्टूडेंट्स है ना क्लास पे।
यस सर।
तो क्या मैं उन 400 स्टूडेंट्स को एक साथ पढ़ा सकता हूँ या एक साथ मैं उन्हें कर सकता हूँ? अगर हम क्लास में नहीं होता ऐसा, पर हम कैसे परफॉर्म करते हैं, हम फैकल्टीज क्या करते हैं बेटा, हम फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ द टाइम विदिन 1 सेकंड, मतलब मिली सेकंड में हम एक बच्चे की आंख से दूसरे बच्चे की आंख की तरफ देखने लगे, दूसरे बच्चे की आंख से तीसरे बच्चे की आंख की तरफ देखने लगते हैं। तो सभी बच्चों को क्या लगता है कि मैंने सभी को पढ़ाया। ऐसा होता है ऑफलाइन में, देखा कभी कभी क्लासेस में ऐसा?
यस सर।
या आप किसी मेहमान में जाते हैं तो आप मेहमान में अगर कहीं बैठे तो हमारा जो स्पीकर होता है, तो स्पीकर क्या करता है, सभी की तरफ थोड़ा थोड़ा देखता है। तो हमें लगता है कि सारी चीजें होती। यहां पर भी क्या करता है सीपीयू, एक टास्क से दूसरे टास्क, दूसरे टास्क से तीसरे टास्क, तीसरे टास्क से चौथे टास्क, फिर पहले टास्क में, फिर दूसरे टास्क में। तो हमें लगता है बहुत तेजी से परफॉर्म कर रहा है, पर क्या ये पॉसिबल है? नहीं है पॉसिबल। तो इसी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी को मैनेज करना ये काम करता है। क्योंकि कोई हमारे पास क्या होता है, कोई टास्क कहीं पर भी छूट गया, फिर दूसरे टास्क में आ गए, दूसरा टास्क कहीं पर भी छूट गया, हम तीसरे टास्क पर आ गए। आप अगर भी पढ़ोगे पीसीबी, प्रोसेस कंट्रोल ब्लॉक,
ओके।
है ना। तो वहां पर हर सिस्टम से हर एक प्रोसेस के लिए अलग अलग रजिस्टर्स होते हैं, मैकेनिज्म होता है। तो उनको कैसे इंस्ट्रक्शंस को समझेंगे और इनको काम कैसे किया जाता है बेटा, पाइपलाइन के थ्रू। क्योंकि अचानक तो काम होगा नहीं। पाइपलाइंस क्या होते हैं, हमारे इंस्ट्रक्शंस का फ्लो होता है। ओके,
यस सर।
ये अपने, ये जो अपन पाइपलाइनिंग है ना, और मेन कोर इंस्ट्रक्शन हम कर्नल की बात करते हैं, ये रादर देन लिनक्स में ज्यादा है। किसकी जगह पर? विंडोज की जगह पर, है ना। तो ये पाइपलाइन के थ्रू ही हम भेजते हैं। और पाइपलाइंस का आप देखेंगे तो वहां पर क्या होगा, हमारे पास ओपन पाइपलाइन, क्लोज पाइपलाइन, इंस्ट्रक्शंस कैसे जा रहा है, फिर वो इंस्ट्रक्शंस कैसे जाएगा, कैसे एग्जीक्यूट होगा, ये सारी चीजें उसमें होती हैं।
The pipeline means wires.
क्या बेटा?
Pipeline means wires.
ये बेटा सिस्टम का नाम है बेटा। जैसे हमारे पास मोटरोला है ना, ये फैमिली, AMD है, इंटेल है, VAX भी सिस्टम है।
Okay. Okay sir.
Now, Sukanya Arora, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your query. Sukanya.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Sir, please explain pipelining again.
बेटा जो पाइपलाइन में क्या होता है हमारे पास, जैसे हमारे पास कोई सिस्टम में हमें भेजना है। हेलो, मेरी आवाज आ रही है बेटा?
Yes sir.
जो सपोज करो कि हमें एक डिवाइस से दूसरे डिवाइस पर कोई इंस्ट्रक्शंस भेजना है। मुझे भेजना था A+B+C। तो ये कैसे जाना चाहिए बेटा? जैसे मेरे पास है बॉड मास में हम लोग करते हैं A+B × C, तब कैसे काम करता है ये बॉड मास का रूल? A+B × C। आप बताओ ये कैसे वर्क करेगा?
सर सबसे पहले मल्टीप्लाई होगा, उसके बाद प्लस।
ये कैसे पता चला?
व्हाट सर?
ये कैसे पता चला आपको कि पहले मल्टीप्लिकेशन वर्क करेगा?
बाय बॉड मास रूल।
बाय बॉड मास रूल्स। और ये किस में भी अप्लाई होता है बॉड मास रूल? सिस्टम में भी, ठीक है ना। तो जो पहले कैलकुलेट हुआ वो कहां जाएगा बेटा? हेलो, पहले यही जाएगा ना हमारे पास, जो हम बोल रहे हैं ना।
यस सर।
जो हम ये बोल रहे हैं पहले कौन होगा? मल्टीप्लिकेशन कैलकुलेशन होगा। तो पहले पाइपलाइन से एक क्या जाना चाहिए?
मल्टीप्लिकेशन।
ओके। दूसरा मल्टीप्लिकेशन, फिर क्या जाना चाहिए? एडिशंस ना।
एडिशन। यस।
अगर ऐसा नहीं होता तो क्या होता? अगर हमारे पास, अगर हम कैलकुलेट करके, और क्योंकि हमारा सीपीयू तो बहुत फास्टर है, तो प्लस वाला भी तो मैटर पहले भेज सकता था ना वो।
यस सर।
तो यहां पर क्या होता? ओवरलैपिंग नहीं होने पाए, ठीक है ना। manage the overlapping performance instructions, it go by the one by one. That time we are using the pipelining, and these are using mainly when we are performing the arithmetic operations. Okay.
Okay, sir.
What are the arithmetic operations, beta?
Some addition, multiplication, division. These are
Yeah.
the operations.
Sir, one learner asked in chat box, please explain what is motherboard.
Okay. Its name itself says it is a motherboard. It is a mother of a system. How we can say it is a mother of system? Because in a motherboard we can have a RAM slots, ROMs, pipe buses, all ICs, GPU, everything is in a motherboard. So where we are putting all these things, all integrants in a motherboards. Okay.
Sir,
so it is, yeah.
Sir, one learner is asking to please explain threads and kernel.
Okay, threads in kernel. Threads are a small programs. We already tell na कि threads are a small programs and they can perform the specific task. Okay, and what are the beauty? What are the first question? What are the threads? Threads are a small programs. So you have another question: how it is different from the programs and why we are telling the threads? Because threads can share the same memory, same space, same codes. So threads make the different from the programs. In programs we have every program have a own space and own data. So here the threads performing the task like in a kernel. If we want to program exit, that time it have a exit, sleep. Okay, this type of work performed by the kernel, and these work performed by the particular threads, and threads are a set of instructions.
Sir, we will take one last question from chat box. The learner is asking which one is faster, 8086 or 8088?
According to me, don't go. Who is faster? We have already discussed 8086 here it mentions, but we have to understand if we are going to purchase the system, that time what will happen and how we can compare which one is a faster. So maybe I think it is a more appropriate to understand. When we are going to purchase the system, that time you have to see megahertz and gigahertz first. How many speed of the systems in a gigahertz? 1.2, 2.2. Another things, bit systems. It is a 16-bit or a 8-bit, 32-bit or a 64-bit. So we have already discussed that 64-bit system is a more faster. Why the 64-bit system is a more faster? Because the CPU can transfer the data once a time in a 64-bit. In here we can see the 8086 can transfer the data 16-bit. And in a 8088 we can transfer the data only 8 bits. So if we are transferring the large amount of data in a once go, that time it will be always faster.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful session. And I request you, learner, if you have further doubt, you can connect to sir on discussion forum. Please raise your doubt on discussion forum, and we will be definitely happy to answer you all. Thank you all, dear learner, for your active participation, and we will meet you all in next week. Till then, thank you so much. Happy weekend. Thank you. Thank you, sir.